Okay, so hello, my name is Richard Hewitt. I'm just going to give you a brief introductory video to the APoLUS model, how to get hold of it and how to set it up from scratch to begin modelling land use change. So basically we need to go to the Simlander APoLUS website where that's stored. So we can do that, we can just type in Simlander there to Google and that should then come up. So that's here, and that takes us basically to the Simlander website where the APoLUS model can be found, and you just have to click here on this tab number 4, APoLUS. Okay, so here we go. That downloads the full APoLUS model. That's constantly updated as we go through the different versions. And I've got that here in my downloads file. Just close that down. So you just download that from the website, unzip it. Here we have the APoLUS model basic file directory and structure, which is all you need, in fact, to run the model. So inside the file we've got this folder structure. And you've also got here 2 PDF documents. One is the full system documentation from 2015. That's the version posted on ResearchGate. This comes out of the complex European project, and that basically describes all the information behind the development of APoLUS and the version as it was in 2015. Here you've got the user guide, more up to date. It's not completely up to date, it's a bit out of date. I need to do a few things there, but the basic structure of the model is all there, so there's nothing there that really will cause any problems. The most important thing in this version, which is 9.6, is the update, because raster and RGDAL, our packages are now out of date. GWidgets TCLTK has been replaced by GWidgets 2 TCLTK, and raster and RGDAL have been replaced by the Terra package, which is much more efficient, much faster. So it's taken me a while, but finally I've got around to updating the whole APoLUS model to run in those new packages. So that's the purpose of the video today. So basically, you start from the beginning. You obviously need to have R installed. I recommend the latest version, and also you don't need to have RStudio involved. You can run it directly from command line R in the terminal. I think RStudio is quite helpful. It certainly helps with some of the dialogues and things like that. So especially if you're used to, I think most people nowadays are used to RStudio. So we can just go straight into RStudio. There we go. Close down a few of these other things we've got in here, just so we can start with a nice clean studio interface for running APoLUS. Okay, so nice and clean. It's giving me a kind of error there, but who knows what that's about. We'll deal with that when we come to it. So obviously the first thing is to navigate into your into the APoLUS directory. Okay, so that's something we can just do very simply. Just do the CD command. Oops, I've got the caps lock on, which we don't really want. Okay, and then we could there just launch R, or in fact, as we've already into RStudio, we can just actually use the set wd command to this directory. We're on a Linux system, Ubuntu system, so we don't need to worry about the slashes. If you're on a Windows system, you need to make sure that you either change the backslashes to forward slashes, or you insert a double slash there. but as I say, we're on a Linux system, we don't need to do that. Okay, so there we can just look at our directory, list the files in that directory, and there we go. So I think the first thing I recommend you to do when starting this is we just bring up that document, the user guide. That's a helpful starting point. There's a starting point here, which is how to open and run the calibrated model. I recommend you do that, but just to get a feel of what the model does. That explains how to generate the demand and to use the interface, but I'm not going to go into that now, because really, as soon as you've done that, the first thing you're going to want to do is to build your own model for your own study area. So this is what basically we'll be doing, and we'll more or less be following this guide here. Okay, so you need to check that you've got these packages installed. This, I repeat, is gwidgets2 tcltk. It'll give you an error if it's not installed. I've updated my version of R recently, so that may not be installed, so I'll go and do that. Yeah, this will run on a Mac, on any Linux system, on Windows, without any problems, hopefully. So let's go back into our studio. First thing we want to do is to bring up the switchboard here, which we've got. There we go. Need to be a bit careful here with the quotes, because if we paste them in PDF, they're not always correct. Okay, so we haven't got, there we are, that's our warning, reminding us to install the gwidgets package. Apart from it, you can of course run all this software without using any of the graphic interfaces, but I think graphic interfaces, I mean, they're basic, but they're quite helpful, and apart from anything else, the switchboard loads in all the packages you're going to need, or gives you a warning if you haven't actually got them all in. So hopefully that's just going to take a minute or two. Obviously in your Linux system, typically these are compiled from source, so there we are. That's a small package like gwidgets2 tcltk takes almost no time. Bigger packages like Terra or SF will take a long time. So let's go back and open the switchboard. Okay, there we go. So we brought up the switchboard. Right, it's simple, very straightforward, and the main thing about this is it structures the order that we have to work in order to set the model up. So start at number 1. We need to import our regions. So this is an important part of the APoLUS models. This allows us to model the land use at different scales, and apart from anything else, perhaps most importantly, the actors. If we're going to apply actors characteristics, these actors are people involved in the land system in some way. So they could be policymakers, they could be landowners, things like that, local groups, municipalities. I'll give an example of that in the video in one of the next videos I make as we go on. So right now I'm just going to show you how to import the region maps on this first stage of setting up the APoLUS model. So there we go. It's going to bring us a dialog box asking us to choose the global level map. So here inside our APoLUS 9.6, our main directory, we've got all the file structures, and this is where we're going to find all our files. You can also install these where you like, but this is the suggested structure. We have ASCII regions, and this is where I've got my region maps. Actually our global level map, which covers the whole region we're exploring, is just simply the province, in this case the province of Navarre in northern Spain. Okay, it tells that. Then the intermediate level, well, this is just a map of planning regions, which have different planning rules attached to them. So they're like sub-regions to that province. And then we're going to local level map. So these are the municipalities. So there's a lot of municipalities in Navarre. So this is the smallest local level of governance in Spain. Okay, so there we brought that up. Let's loaded that in, and it's plotted them out in the window, and we can see there those categories. So I shifted them over a bit. Actually, we can probably just pull out this map so we can see all those categories. To remind myself exactly how to do that. That obviously isn't it. Anyway, I'm sure there was a way to plot that out. Anyway, never mind, not important. So yeah, you see we've got up to 800 and something categories. There actually are not that many categories, those are the numbers. So there's, I think, about 400, but some of the categories go up to 800 or 900. That's just the index number. So there we've got our categories, and we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different categories in the intermediate level map of the planning regions, and the global map is just a simple map there of the province that we're going to be working in. So that's how to get started. So in the next video I'll then show you how to move forward in import the land use maps.